Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Starrapter, and welcome to another Star Wars book review. It's time to dive right back into the High Republic in Phase 2. Today we are talking about the middle grade novel called Star Wars The High Republic, Quest for the Hidden City, written by George Mann. This book won't release until November 1st, but you can pre-order it now wherever books are sold. I have a link to its Amazon page in the description down below. Thanks to the people over at Disney Lucasfilm Press for sending me an early review copy for you guys to be able to enjoy my thoughts on the book. So getting into it, Phase 2, where is it set in the Star Wars timeline? It is actually set before the events of Phase 1, specifically about 150 years before the events of Phase 1, The Light of the Jedi, and well, that makes it about 350 years before the events of A New Hope. So this is the furthest back in the timeline for Star Wars canon that we have been to so far. So specifically what is happening at this time in the Republic is they are expanding into the Outer Rim. So we have these Pathfinder groups led by Jedi that are going to discover new planets, new civilizations, try to foster relationships to maybe bring them into the Republic, and also establish outposts on these different planets and establish communication lines, because that is something that is a little bit difficult at this point, is having steady connections with communications. And at the same time, you have these prospectors that are discovering new hyperspace lanes, but you also have some devious things happening in the background, like ancestors of Marchion Ro starting to get things going, as well as some monstrous creatures and a big forever war between Arona and the planet Iram that we've heard about in Phase 1. All that is happening, and all that is explained very good in the opening crawl that is put in this book, as well as Path of Deceit, which is also part of Phase 2, which I have reviewed on the channel. You can check that out now. So specifically, the story in this book is very much an adventure story, and it is all set during these events when we have a Pathfinder drone or droid that is found, discovered, all battered and beaten up, and apparently it has a distress signal from its master, this master Jedi that has been marooned on his planet. He is in deep trouble. So we have this other Pathfinder group that has been alerted to this, and basically it's a mystery story about them finding out what happened to this other Pathfinder group and what they can do to save them. So main characters, the first main character really here in this book is Rupert Natani. She is a 14-year-old Jedi Padawan, and she's also along with her Jedi Master Shalandra Sho. And you also have a prospector point of view character who is also marooned on this planet you find later on. His name is Dash, and he's with his father, who is a very great and world-renowned, or I don't know about world-renowned, but a very established prospector, and he's been doing that for a very long time. So that's as much as I want to tell you about this story. There's a lot of wonder here. There's also a lot of horror, as well as these big monstrous creatures that they have to deal with, and just a lot of fun in general. I really enjoyed this book for lots of reasons, starting with the main character of Rupert Natani. I think just seeing through her lens, this 14-year-old craving excitement, craving adventure, and well, it's not just about adventure and craving all this sort of thing, and we get to see her grow and get to see what her duty as a Jedi is, get to see what the purpose of doing all this really is, besides just, hey, let's go have fun going around exploring in space. This story, let me tell you guys, is what I expected from Phase 1 of the High Republic. When it was first revealed to us with the High Republic, it was going to be set all the way in the past with the Outer Rim and all that. They did say there was going to be exploration. Well, I think Phase 1 is more like they're already established, these outposts, on Afrona and different places, right? They're all established. It's more or less Phase 1 is dealing with the Nile. Phase 2 is, first and foremost, dealing with the exploration. So we have the Pathfinders, as I was explaining, we have the prospectors, we have just the unknown that is out there. The idea that the Republic does not know what is happening on these planets, does not know about these creatures, and the cool thing about first contact. What does first contact look like between a Republic and a sentient species? We get to see that in this book. There is the Katakuk, who are basically, or the Katakut, who are basically these sentient bat type people, and how they're already self-reliant on their own stuff, but then they also have a plight, and how the Republic kind of shows that they're a helping hand, shows that they are not there to just take things over for the heck of it. They are there to help, and the Jedi are like in their image to do that. So I really just enjoyed just the general world building that we had in this book. It really delivered for me. It also does connect with Path of Deceit as a nice companion piece to a certain thing that happens in that book. So yes, the High Republic, as always, is all connected. There's references to the Convergence book on what is happening with this forever war with Afrona and everything going on, the backdrop of like this war that could take resources, that could take action from other things that could be happening. I will say that the good pacing in this book really had me very satisfied with how things were going. You got these different perspectives of a character that's a communications engineer named Amos, and then you have the character of Das, who is a prospector scared out of his mind, but having to be brave, having to be courageous to survive. And then, of course, you have Rupert, as I mentioned already. But just the cool idea of having a Pathfinder group for the Republic is a new idea, having the Jedi as the first and foremost leaders of a little tight-knit group. You have the communication engineers, you have a pilot, you have the little Pathfinder floating droid that is like the communications buoy that goes from place to place, giving these messages. You have astromech droids, and you have medics on board. So I think this story did a great job of really kind of fleshing out each one of these team members and why they matter and why they are important to the structure of that team, and how efficient these teams are as being small, mobile, to connect to different places of the Outer Rim. I feel like George Mann does such a great job with these monsters every time, even if it's not in this book, because he has written other things in Star Wars, like Dark Legends, for instance, which has a lot of monstrous creatures, so this is right in his wheelhouse. And I think he nailed it with these vampiric type bat creatures, or just like the horror of it all is pretty cool. I like how the big message of this is it's not about the adventure, but the people you meet along the way. These characters, especially Rupert, goes through trials and tribulations, right? This is called Quest of the Jedi Phase 2. There's definitely some questing going on, as you can see by the title of this book, but I enjoyed the ride, and just seeing how they were meeting these different characters and bringing them into Republic was really cool. And last good thing about this book is how I would never really even know it's a middle grade novel. And I think that's one of the best kind of points you can make about a book like this, is to just kind of soak it in and enjoy the story for what it is, not who it's really meant for. But with that being said, there was nothing that really stood out to me as like, oh, this is very kiddish or whatever. Again, there's some mature themes dealing in here with death and how people are dealing with loved ones basically getting to their demise like earlier on in life, like than they should, and just the fact that life is fragile, and for those themes and messages to be dealt with in a middle grade novel is really good. And just in general, the High Republic middle grade novels have been really impressing me all the way from Phase 1. In Phase 2, we're starting off strong with this one. As far as negatives, yeah, could the characters have had more fleshing out development? Yes. And I think that could have been done with maybe Das a little bit more, maybe the communications officers a little bit more. Did I want to see some more resolution to some certain storylines towards the end? It's more of a history thing that's dealing with something. Yes, there could have been things that are tidied up a little bit more, but maybe George Mann was not able to touch those things and deal with those things just yet, because it's dealing with another storyline coming. Who knows? I'm trying to be very vague because I'm trying to keep this spoiler free if you haven't noticed already. But enough of me rambling on. I got to give Quest for the Hidden City a score of a 9 out of 10. I will say this is my favorite middle grade High Republic novel, and it might be my favorite middle grade Star Wars novel, period. I just had a lot of fun with this one. As I said off the top, this encapsulates the High Republic's promise to me as a storyline of a lot of first for the Republic, going out into the unknown, making those established connections, the horrors and the unknown of what could happen out there, and how people have to grow through the different kind of stress that they have to go through. So yeah, can't recommend this one enough. Definitely go and check it out. For more on the High Republic, as I mentioned, I have my review for the young adult novel of this phase, and that is Path of the Sea. So go ahead and check out that review. Let me know what you think about this book in the comment section down below. For more on Star Wars The High Republic, you are already in the right place. I have dozens of videos relating to the High Republic, so make sure you go ahead and check those out and let me know what you think. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.